How to Decide.
How to Decide.
Simple Tools for Making Better Choices. By Annie Duke. Introduction. You make thousands of decisions every day. Some big, some small. Some clearly of great consequence, like what job to take. And some clearly of little consequence, like what to eat for breakfast. No matter what type of decision you're facing, it's imperative to develop a decision process that not only improves your decision quality, but also helps sort your decisions so you can identify which ones are bigger and which ones are smaller. Why is it so important to have a high-quality decision process? Because there are only two things that determine how your life turns out. Luck and the quality of your decisions. You have control over only one of those two things. Luck, by definition, is out of your control. Where and when you were born, whether your boss comes into work in a bad mood, which admissions officer happens to see your college application. These are all things that are out of your hands. What you do have some control over, what you can improve, is the quality of your decisions. And when you make better quality decisions, you increase the chances that good things will happen to you. I believe this is a pretty non-controversial thing to say. It's important to improve your decision process because it's the one thing you have control over in determining the quality of your life. How to Decide. Simple Tools for Making Better Choices. By Annie Duke. Introduction. You make thousands of decisions every day. Some big, some small. Some clearly of great consequence, like what job to take. And some clearly of little consequence, like what to eat for breakfast. No matter what type of decision you're facing, it's imperative to develop a decision process that not only improves your decision quality, but also helps sort your decisions so you can identify which ones are bigger and which ones are smaller. Why is it so important to have a high-quality decision process? Because there are only two things that determine how your life turns out. Luck and the quality of your decisions. You have control over only one of those two things. Luck, by definition, is out of your control. Where and when you were born, whether your boss comes into work in a bad mood, which admissions officer happens to see your college application. These are all things that are out of your hands. What you do have some control over, what you can improve, is the quality of your decisions. And when you make better quality decisions, you increase the chances that good things will happen to you. I believe this is a pretty non-controversial thing to say. It's important to improve your decision process because it's the one thing you have control over in determining the quality of your life.
How to Decide. Simple Tools for Making Better Choices by Annie Duke. Introduction. You make thousands of decisions every day, some big, some small. Some clearly of great consequence, like what job to take, and some clearly of little consequence, like what to eat for breakfast. No matter what type of decision you are facing, it's imperative to develop a decision process that not only improves your decision quality, but also helps sort your decisions so you can identify which ones are bigger and which ones are smaller. Why is it so important to have a high-quality decision process? Because there are only two things that determine how your life turns out: luck and the quality of your decisions. You have control over only one of those two things. You have control over only one of those two things. Luck, by definition, is out of your control. Where and when you were born, whether your boss comes into work in a bad mood, which admissions officer happens to see your college application, these are all things that are out of your hands. What you do have some control over. What you can improve is the quality of your decisions. And when you make better quality decisions, you increase the chances that good things will happen to you. I believe this is a pretty non-controversial thing to say. It's important to improve your decision process because it's the one thing you have control over in determining the quality of your life.
How to decide. Simple tools for making better choices. By Annie Duke. Introduction. You make thousands of decisions every day. Some big, some small. Some clearly of great consequence, like what job to take. And some clearly of little consequence, like what to eat for breakfast. No matter what type of decision you're facing, it's imperative to develop a decision process that not only improves your decision quality, but also helps sort your decisions so you can identify which ones are bigger and which ones are smaller. Why is it so important to have a high-quality decision process? Because there are only two things that determine how your life turns out. Luck and the quality of your decisions. You have control over only one of those two things. Luck, by definition, is out of your control. Where and when you were born. Whether your boss comes into work in a bad mood. Which admissions officer happens to see your college application. These are all things that are out of your hands. What you do have some control over, what you can improve, is the quality of your decisions. And when you make better quality decisions, you increase the chances that good things will happen to you. I believe this is a pretty non-controversial thing to say. It's important to improve your decision process because it's the one thing you have control over in determining the quality of your life. How to decide. Luck, by definition, is out of your control. Where and when you were born. Whether your boss comes into work in a bad mood. Which admissions officer happens to see your college application. These are all things that are out of your hands. What you do have some control over, what you can improve, is the quality of your decisions. And when you make better quality decisions, you increase the chances that good things will happen to you. I believe this is a pretty non-controversial thing to say. It's important to improve your decision process because it's the one thing you have control over in determining the quality of your life. How to decide. Simple tools for making better choices. By Annie Duke. Introduction. You make thousands of decisions every day. Some big, some small. Some clearly of great consequence, like what job to take. And some clearly of little consequence, like what to eat for breakfast. No matter what type of decision you're facing, it's imperative to develop a decision process that not only improves your decision quality, but also helps sort your decisions so you can identify which ones are bigger and which ones are smaller. Why is it so important to have a high-quality decision process? Because there are only two things that determine how your life turns out. Luck and the quality of your decisions. You have control over only one of those two things. Luck, by definition, is out of your control. Where and when you were born, whether your boss comes into work in a bad mood, which admissions officer happens to see your college application. These are all things that are out of your hands. What you do have some control over, what you can improve, is the quality of your decisions. And when you make better quality decisions, you increase the chances that good things will happen to you. I believe this is a pretty non-controversial thing to say. It's important to improve your decision process because it's the one thing you have control over in determining the quality of your life. Junk food was our love language. To feel close to my father, a man I never fully knew, I eat chicken nuggets. By C. Pam Jong. It's autumn again, the 8th since my father died, and I'm craving chicken nuggets. When the pandemic began, I craved foods that happened to feel more virtuous. I was a frequent takeout customer at local San Francisco restaurants in economic peril. Beef noodle soup from a mom and pop on Irving, refried beans from a taqueria on 24th Street, a pork chop from the beloved neighborhood spot on Divisadero. Every action I took was fraught with the concept of doing good. I purchased stacks of books from independent bookstores, researched gardening gloves, donated, downloaded a workout app, started reading War and Peace. And then, depression, Zoom fatigue, a major life milestone passing without the ability to celebrate it. The deaths of public figures, the deaths of frontline workers, the death of a friend's father, the deaths of migrants detained at the border, the death of a friend's father, the death of another friend's father. 6 months later, I was moving 800 miles in an attempt to outrun a suffocating sense of doom, driving across state lines, every stop an exercise in anxiously navigating shared airspace and inconsistent mask policies, and all I wanted was the ease of a drive-through chicken nugget. My father would have understood. Junk food was our love language. To feel close to my father, a man I never fully knew, I eat chicken nuggets. By C. Pam Jong. It's autumn again, the 8th since my father died, and I'm craving chicken nuggets. When the pandemic began, I craved foods that happened to feel more virtuous. I was a frequent takeout customer at local San Francisco restaurants in economic peril. Beef noodle soup from a mom and pop on Irving, refried beans from a taqueria on 24th Street, a pork chop from the beloved neighborhood spot on Divisadero. Every action I took was fraught with the concept of doing good. I purchased stacks of books from independent bookstores, researched gardening gloves, donated, downloaded a workout app, started reading War and Peace. And then, depression, Zoom fatigue, a major life milestone passing without the ability to celebrate it. The deaths of public figures, the deaths of frontline workers, the death of a friend's father, the deaths of migrants detained at the border, the death of a friend's father, the death of another friend's father. 6 months later, I was moving 800 miles in an attempt to outrun a suffocating sense of doom, driving across state lines, every stop an exercise in anxiously navigating shared airspace and inconsistent mask policies, and all I wanted was the ease of a drive-through chicken nugget. My father would have understood. Junk food was our love language. To feel
Junk food was our love language. To feel close to my father, a man I never fully knew, I eat chicken nuggets by C. Palm John. It's autumn again. The 8th since my father died, and I'm craving chicken nuggets. When the pandemic began, I craved foods that happened to feel more virtuous. I was a frequent takeout customer at local San Francisco restaurants in economic peril. Takeout customer at local San Francisco restaurants in economic peril. Beef noodle soup from Mom and Pop on Irving. Refried beans from a taqueria on 24th Street. A pork chop from the beloved neighborhood spot on Devastero. A pork chop from the beloved neighborhood spot on Devastero. Every action I took was fraught with the concept of doing good. I purchased stacks of books from independent bookstores, researched gardening gloves, downloaded a workout app. Stacks of books from independent bookstores, researched gardening gloves, downloaded the workout app, started reading War and Peace. And then depression, Zoom fatigue, a major life milestone passing without the ability to celebrate it. Without the ability to celebrate it, the deaths of public figures, the deaths of frontline workers, the death of a friend's father, the death of a migrant detained at the border, the death of a friend's father, the death of another friend's father. 6 months later, I was moving 800 miles in an attempt to overrun a suffocating sense of doom. Suffocating sense of doom, driving across state lines, every stop an exercise in anxiously navigating shared airspace and in constant mask policy. Every stop an exercise in anxiously navigating shared airspace. Every stop an exercise in anxiously navigating shared airspace and in constant mask policy, in anxiously navigating every stop an exercise in anxiously navigating shared airspace shared space and in constant mask policy, and all I wanted was the ease of drive-through chicken nuggets. My father would have understood. 6 months later, I was moving 8 miles in an attempt to overrun a suffocating sense of doom. 6 months later, I was moving 800 miles in an attempt to overrun a suffocating sense of doom, driving across state lines, every stop an exercise. Every stop and exercise in anxiously navigating shared every stop and exercise in anxiously navigating. I was moving 800 miles in an attempt to overrun a suffocating sense of doom, driving across state line,